let's get started on the mat in standing mountain pose. Starting off in mountain pose, palms facing forward, shoulders rolled back, chest slightly lifted. And we'll take a few deep breaths in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Noticing the muscles in our faces, our shoulders and ribs soften. Bringing our awareness to the steady in and out of our breath through our nose. And the lightness that we breathe in with every breath. Spreading it through our bodies from head to toe. And checking in with the body as we stream that lightness all the way through into our chest and upper back, down our arms, into the abdomen and lower back, into the hips, pelvis, and running down the fronts and backs of the legs. Softening our arms, allowing them to fall alongside the body. We'll take a moment to set an intention for today's practice. Maintaining presence in this moment to reap all the benefits physically and mentally of our practice. Slowly starting to bounce, perhaps starting with the knees, swaying left to right, maybe lifting a heel, maybe the whole foot, then allowing the upper body to fall. And follow the flow, letting the arms sway left to right. As gentle or as vigorous as we desire. Moving around the head. Feeling those vibrations all the way up through the shoulders into the neck. Not worried about what we look like, just allowing the body to guide the bounce, the flow, the vibrations. The body knows what it needs. We just need to listen and give it that nourishment and time. 3, 2, last big breath, and then we'll come back to center, steadying ourselves and checking in with the new vibrations running from head to toe. And we'll flow through a gentle inhale, reaching our arms up over our heads. And exhaling, we forward fold, letting our arms sway heavy. Rolling up gently, inhaling, arms up. Exhale, forward flow. And allowing the arms to roll down. As if we're allowing energy to flow off of our arms like raindrops. vigorously as our body allows. Two more. Shaking off everything that doesn't serve us. And we reset in the center. Rolling our shoulders up and back. Deep breath in. Bringing our hands to our shoulders. Feet are under our hips. Knees are slightly bent. And we'll gently rotate left to right. Adding some awareness to the spine, releasing synovial fluid and the life force. Three, two, last one. We come back to center, releasing the arms, rolling the shoulders up and back. Sighing it out. Bringing our left foot off the earth, coming into a tree pose here. Not tweaking our spine to get into position. When we're ready, we can bring our hands to heart center, finding somewhere to gaze at. Feeling the grounding of our right foot into the earth. We are strong, we are grounded, we are present in this moment. Getting out of our heads, creating space for new things to come in. We're going to cross that left foot over the right thigh and sink down, lowering ourselves a little. And then we'll go a little bit farther, bringing our left leg over and around the back of the right leg as possible. Then we have the option to bring our left arm under our right and eagle the arms. Maintaining length in the torso. Finding our presence, our stability. And we're going to release our arms, bringing them down to the earth, extending our left leg behind us and into a standing split. Beautiful. Bringing the left leg down, forward fold. Feeling all the energy down the back of the legs, into the spine, down the neck, and into the arms. Calm and steady. Good. Bending the knees
And we'll slowly roll ourselves up again like rag dolls, shoulders and head.
Deep breath in, sigh it out. We'll bring our right leg off the floor, coming back into our tree pose. Finding our stability, finding that somewhere to gaze at. Finding length in our torso and grounding of our left foot. Letting distractions pass through so that we can bring ourselves back to this moment. We'll cross the right foot over the left. We'll sink down a little bit into our hips, finding that stability and any yummy sensations. We can slowly cross our right leg over our left. Then we have the option to bring the right arm under the left, eagling the arms, eagling the legs to our ability. We uncross our arms, we uncross our legs, we bring our hands to the earth, coming into a standing split, letting the right leg float high. Pressing back into our left leg to the best of our ability, up on our fingertips or hands firmly planted. And we bring our right leg down, forward fold. Feet are under our hips. Settling back in. Feeling the stretch through the legs, down the back and into the neck. Letting go of energy that might be blocked in our back body. And bringing ourselves down into a Malasana squat, opening our feet a little bit wider. We have our blocks to bring underneath our glutes, if so desired. Starting to stretch into the hips. If we need a little support, we have it with our blocks. Supporting our hips as needed. And not collapsing into our lower back, maintaining a tall torso, possibly even pressing our elbows into the inner thighs. And we'll run through our squat, forward fold, and reach up sequence. Inhaling, forward fold here. Exhaling, we roll up gently. Inhaling, we reach up, palms together. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, we squat through. Inhale, we forward fold. And exhale, we roll all the way back up. And we repeat to the rhythm of our breath. Opening our abdomen. Opening our hips.
finding a meditative flow, blocking out all the
Distractions.
Noticing the pauses at the top and the bottom of our pose and our sequencing.
Enjoying those moments of stillness. Let's do 2 more.
And we'll all meet up at the top.
Palms together. Holding here, opening our abdomen. Grabbing onto our left wrist, reaching high and coming over into a side bend. Keeping the hips square, noticing when we might change our form and just pulling back, not collapsing on the inside, not stressing our breath. Good, releasing out of that. Deep breath in between sides. And we reach the arms up again. Grabbing for the opposite, reaching high. And coming over into our side bend to a point where we can maintain our calm, steady rhythm of breath while adding space. Anchoring through the right leg, perhaps even feeling a little lightness in the left. And we release. Coming back to center, rolling the shoulders up and back. Sighing it out. Hands to heart center. We inhale, reaching up, palms together. Exhaling into our Malasana squat. Once again, we hold here. Finding our block as desired. Pressing our arms into the inner thighs. Creating a little bit more space in our hips. Calmness on our faces. Bringing our left hand to the earth, and we'll open our right hand. Perhaps lifting it towards the sky. Whatever depth to this pose that we can do. Noticing areas of stickiness or tension that may be blocking our fluidity and our range of motion. Trying to breathe space into those areas while acknowledging them. releasing our right hand, replacing it, and bringing the left over our body. Slowly rotating open. Accepting our range of motion. Opening a bit more as we exhale some of that tension, settling into the pose, slowly and gently. And we release, gently bringing our hands back to center. We're going to bring our legs underneath us and come into all fours. Gentle transition, hands under our chest, knees under our hips. We can sway left to right.
Our speed holding if desired. Adding fluidity. Taking this practice to nourish our bodies, to move energy around, and to identify areas that need our attention. Coming back to center, and we can circle around. Coming over our shoulders, back towards our heels. Finding that flow that feels yummy for our body. Now we can switch directions. Noticing our fluidity or little areas of stickiness. Good. And coming back to neutral. We're going to bring our right leg in front, lunge pose here. We have the option to bring our block close by. We're going to slowly lower ourselves forward. Opening into the hip flexor. We have our blocks for support. And lifting our chest. Option here to lift our back leg and to bring a block under it. Or if what we're looking for right now is the hip flexor stretch down the front of the leg, then we'll stay here. Option, of course, to lift our left arm over top of our shoulder. Supporting as needed. Good, and we'll bring our arm back. We'll come down into a lizard pose, so walking our right foot over and out to the outer edge. We can bring our forearms down onto our block. Sinking into the hip, perhaps rolling left to right to see how the hip flexor talks to us. Floating, rolling, or holding. Of course, we can bring our forearms lower, down to the block again, or onto the mat. Listening to the hip flexor, listening to the hip, the glutes. With the option here to reach back, lifting our back foot, grabbing onto it. If we can do so without tweaking our spine, releasing a little more energy in the front of the quadricep, the back of the right glute. Perhaps even taking the opportunity to open our chest. Fitting the pose to our body. Keeping length in our torso and a softness on our faces. And we release the back foot. We come to center. We're going to walk the right foot over into our pigeon. Right foot comes to left wrist. We slowly lower ourselves down, bringing the right knee to the right wrist. Hanging out here, slowly melting into that right hip. No judgment or competition. We support along the way, melting forward as the body releases the energy that it might be holding in the back of the hip. Bringing our blocks in as needed, so as not to stress the body. We're here to release tension, to reset, to clear the cobwebs, to create space for fluidity. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing micro gains. Beautiful. Pressing ourselves up. We'll come out of this over onto the right hip, coming back into all fours. This time, we'll step up into down dog. Curling the toes under our shins. Deep breaths in. And we lift up on the exhale. Oh, yummy. Moving that energy through. Pedaling it out, or finding stillness.
Slowly lowering ourselves back into all fours. We'll do the same sequence on the other leg. So bringing our left leg through, low lunge, bringing our block close by, and we can slowly hinge forward, coming off of the knee, opening into the right hip flexor, tall torso, softening of the shoulders. And finding that happy place where we can breathe space into any areas of discomfort. Option to lift our right arm over our shoulder, option to seek support of our block. Noticing small little releases of energy and blockage. And we'll walk our left foot over to the outer edge. We'll come into our lizard pose, whatever that looks like for us. High on the arms or lowering our arms onto our blocks and then rolling side to side. Exploring sensations in the hips, the hip flexors, the lower back. Holding wherever it might feel like the body needs. And we have the option to reach back, lifting our back foot, creating space in the front of the quadricep, space across the chest. Again, fitting the pose to our body. What we need today. Noticing the micro releases, allowing us to sink a little deeper into whatever pose we are in. Calm, steady rhythm of breath, lightness in our faces. And we can release out of this, coming back to center, bringing our left foot across, left knee to left elbow, ankle to wrist. Floating ourselves back. Checking in with the hip, slowly lowering ourselves with each breath as the body allows. Breathing space into areas of discomfort. Being present with the sensations. Noticing how they may have transformed from other days, other practices. Being curious while honoring the state of our body.
Pressing ourselves up, slowly walking the hands in. We roll over to the left, coming back into all fours, stepping up into down dog. Slow transition. Feeling the strength and stability of our upper body. The space we're creating between our vertebrae. And the energy that we're releasing down the back of the legs, through the fronts of the foot. Now we'll slowly come back down into all fours. Rolling the feet. Crick, crack, crick, crack. And we'll turn our hands, fingertips towards our knees. Thumbs are pointed to the outer edges of the mats. We get into a comfortable position here and we can flow through some cat-cow sequences. Inhaling, lifting our heart and our chest, opening the abdomen. Exhale, starting at the tailbone, rounding back, looking back towards our feet. Inhaling, opening the front body. Exhaling, rounding the spine, pressing into the fronts of the arms, gentle press. 3 more just like this. One more. Coming back to neutral, we walk our hands forward, sinking back into child's pose. Again, reaching for our block to put our head on if we're not feeling super flexible in the hips, or we have our fists or our hands to elevate our head. And we can bring our hands behind our back, interlacing, stretching up. Perhaps we open our knees a little wider, slowly moving into our chest opener, working down the chest, down the fronts of the arms, cross. And releasing out of that, allowing our hands to come back to the earth. And we roll ourselves up, walking our hands in, grabbing a sip of water.
We come back into child's pose. Bring our knees a little bit tighter underneath us, walking our hands all the way out. And then we're going to walk over to the side. So inhale, pressing our hands into the mat, lifting our chest. Exhaling, we're going to walk over to the side. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hinging and melting, creating space in the side body. Noticing what might be happening in the hip and the lower back. Continuing to breathe deeply. Walking a bit further, maybe a hand print at a time. And we'll come out of that, coming back to center, resetting here. Inhaling, lifting our chest, pressing into the palms of our hands, and then slowly walking over to the other side, creating space in the side body. Deep, nourishing breaths. And we'll slowly walk back to center, gently walking, coming back, and allowing the lower back to reset. Hugging our chest into our knees, using our blocks for support as needed. Inhaling, lifting our heads, walking our hands back in, stacking the vertebrae, coming over into easy seated pose with a twist. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together, but we're going to bring our blocks in between them. Whatever width we can tolerate, opening into our hips, gripping the block with our feet. I'm going to stack them up. Slowly hinge forward. Perhaps bringing our forearms to our blocks, perhaps bringing our head to our blocks. Noticing what's happening in the hips and the lower back. Softness on our faces. No competition. Honoring the state of our body. Perhaps we minimize the width of our block to slowly start bringing ourselves in. Noticing the slight transformation of sensations. And we can release the other block, bringing our feet closer together, perhaps even the heels closer into our body. And again, we have our blocks if we want to bring our forearms onto it, or our forehead, for support. No judgment, no competition. Be keeping our awareness on the physical sensations and the breath. Noticing those micro transformations, the mini releases of energy as we sink a little bit deeper. Good, pressing ourselves up. We'll extend our legs out in front of us, Dandasana, giving them a little wiggle. Wiggling the feet. And we'll bring the left leg in. Tree pose. Bringing the right hand across the left knee, left thigh. Lifting the left arm up, and we'll come into a gentle side bend. Adding a little bit of a twist with the traction of our right hand on our left thigh. Again, exploring, feeling where our body wants to be. Noticing the releases, the body softening and melting into the pose. Good, and we press out of that, coming out gently, and we'll switch sides. Bring our right leg in, left extends, left hand crosses over. We slowly bring our right arm up and over, making the pose what we need it to be. Perhaps we add a gentle rotation. Checking in with the lower back on the right side. Noticing how we hold our tension differently on each side of the body. And adjusting for what each side needs. Noticing the opening across the upper back. And we come out of that gently. Bring our legs back out in front of us. Dandasana. Inhaling, reaching the arms up over our shoulders. Lengthening the torso, flexing the feet, toes up, hinging forward. Holding here, arms parallel to the floor, pulsing, or coming into a passive hold, bringing the arms and the hands to the floor, listening to the body. Perhaps you're noticing it talking to you, giving signals of cravings, checking in with the back, the neck, and the back of the legs. Again, making the pose fit our body and what it needs right now. Gently rolling out of this, rolling the feet, pointing and flexing. We'll bring our feet hip width in, bending the knees, and we'll slowly roll down to the mat, lowering our vertebrae, shoulders and head, allowing the lower back to settle in. Bringing our left leg over the right, gentle twist here. Lowering the knees to the left, extending our arms in a T, or keeping the hands on our hips, or floating the arms above our head. Maintaining awareness on our breath and the physical sensations, anchoring us to this present moment. And stacking the knees back up to center, untwining, bringing the right leg over the left, and then we can do our twist over to the opposite side. Gently lowering the knees, using our block to support the weight of our legs. And again, bringing our awareness to these physical sensations that may be slightly uncomfortable. Awareness on the breath, guiding the depth of our pose and keeping us anchored. Inhaling, bringing the knees back to center, untwisting, giving them a gentle hug into the chest. And bringing the feet back to the earth, we can bring one block underneath our sacrum. Supported bridge pose. We can keep our feet on the outer edges of the mat. We can butterfly the legs, bringing the soles of the feet together. Or we can extend the legs long on the mat. Taking time here to continue to create an opening in the hips. With our awareness on the physical sensations. Noticing those micro transformations. Noticing how the legs start to melt. Tension melts away. The body starts to realign itself. Giving it the time it needs to work out all the kinks, all the tension, all the emotions that we may not need. Resetting us for the days ahead. Option here to bring the knees back together and extend the legs long on the mat if we haven't already done so. Supported Shavasana. Reflecting on any intention we may have set at the beginning of our practice. Noticing the lightness in our bodies. Taking the time we need to imprint our practice. When we're ready, we can remove the block from under our hips. Coming down into Shavasana or fetal position. Perhaps setting a new intention for the days ahead. Trusting that everything will work out as it should in its own time. Taking each day step by step, breath by breath. Trying to keep our anchor in this present moment and to not get ahead of ourselves. This is all we have. So let's live this moment as fully as possible. The here and the now. When we're ready, we can hug our knees in, drawing the feet into our glutes. And we can roll over and up, bringing our awareness back to the space around us, the smells, the temperature, and the sounds. Bringing ourselves back to the community. Giving thanks for the opportunity to practice and to move, to nourish our bodies. Time to set an intention. Time to reflect and to nourish our bodies and minds. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you a beautiful continuation. Namaste.